Many of us play video games on a daily basis, allowing us to go into a world which is different from our own.
They actually believe that they are in the video game when they get out in the real world. So they think they might be in Mortal Kombat, they're ready to fight someone.
I've been playing violent video games since I was a baby. I don't have a gun, you know what I mean? It's stupid. It depends on the person and the mind of the person.
But what if the world of guns, soldiers, death and violence were in our lives on a daily basis? What would you do? For thousands of people in developing countries, this is a reality. Conflict, war and youth violence are a huge problem today and have been for many years. 16 out of 20 of the most poor and unstable countries in the world have recently suffered civil wars. But what is conflict?
Broadly speaking, the word conflict really just refers to a state of prolonged fighting. And in international development at least, the causes of conflict can range from economic to environmental to racial. And although we tend to think of conflict as existing between two countries or states, conflict can very often be internal as well, so between people from the same country or town or neighbourhood.
Conflicts can affect people in so many ways, leading to poverty, famine, disease, and commonly death. Conflict affects innocent people who are not even involved in the violence. In today's armed conflicts, less than 10% of the casualties are soldiers. More than 90% are part of the general public, and half of those are children. How would you feel if your younger brother or sister were injured in a shootout just because they were hiding in their home? Why does conflict start?
Conflict basically starts when people can't come to an agreement. It could be based on race as an excuse, or based on religion, or gangs. But most of the time when people have conflict, it mainly has like a hidden agenda.
Conflicts start for a number of reasons. In my experience, I find that it's a lot to do with beliefs, corruption and general greediness.
We all know there are so many issues in the world which need to be sorted out, but conflict is not the answer. Youth violence is a huge issue within conflicts in developing countries. Young people are recruited as child soldiers or to sell drugs in the streets. Dangerous jobs which mean they're continuously in danger of losing their lives. More help needs to be given to take young people out of these situations. In situations of conflict, young people join dangerous groups to gain an identity in activities that they feel gives them importance, status and belonging. These families allow some people who feel disengaged with society to take part in something which they have some control over, but often within a dangerous and destructive context. Does any of this sound familiar? The issue of youth violence is not confined to developing countries. Conflict is not as far away as some of us might think.
Obviously it's a bad thing, but it's a short-term solution just to attack the gangs themselves. The reason gangs start is because people are feeling isolated and don't want to exist on their own. Therefore you should look at the reasons for why they need to form gangs in order to create a solution.
What can be done to help? Getting involved in youth organisations and clubs in the UK can give you the opportunity to help other young people and help them to see the many vital alternatives to joining a gang. But what about people living in war zones every day? Government departments like the Department for International Development and the Foreign and Commonwealth Office work to improve the conditions of people in developing countries. There are hundreds of charities all over the UK which deal with issues like conflict. International development charities do a wide range of great work. Volunteering at their offices in the UK is a great way of being part of making a difference. Development projects abroad are also a great opportunity to experience a whole new culture and work on a project to help people who need it the most. Don't let conflict be something you ignore.